Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the Ajax creation operator from RxJS. Almost every application needs to interact with servers to collect or send data, and these interactions typically occur asynchronously. The Ajax operator will help us to manage these asynchronous HTTP requests efficiently. So without further delay, let's dive into it. We have a very basic index.html file. We are using RxJS version 7. I also created an empty JavaScript file and the same is referred in here. And for styling, we are using Tailwind CSS. Let's hit save. If you see in the browser, nothing yet. The console is clear. So let's close this. Now, before we write the code, just to show you the sample API that we'll be using, which is this one. So it looks something like this. HTTPS JSON placeholder, right? And it has this JSON object, which has user ID, title. So we don't have to deal with anything of the response. We just need a sample request that we can request to. All right. We can close it for now. Awesome. So let's put this URL inside a variable. We'll call it as URL. Wrap it using quotes. Great. Next, let's start by importing Ajax. Okay. Const RxJS. Now, in order to import Ajax, we cannot import it directly from RxJS module. Instead, we need to write RxJS.ajax. And what we collect is the Ajax function. Now, as we follow with every example learned so far, we'll start with creating the observable. Let's call it as post observable, followed by $. Then we need to write Ajax and pass in the URL. This is the format to be used while you are making a GET request. It's more of a general format, which will return us an observable to which we can then subscribe to. So let's create our observer. Next observer, we'll have next. Let us just log the value. Great, we have our observer. Finally, the subscription mechanism. All post observable dot subscribe, passing the observer. Let's hit save. As we can see in the browser, in our next notification, we have the response. Now, this is basically a raw response. It not only contains the data, so you can find the data in here. Let me just pull it up. So the data is in here. So value.response will contain the information. So apart from the data, that's the JSON data, we also have certain metadata information about the request, such as the status, what's the time, response headers, and so on. Now, we are only interested with this response. You can use a map operator and extract this particular field, but Ajax provides us a better way to extract this information. And for that, we'll use ajax.getJSON. When you use getJSON here, this will automatically pass the JSON data from this response and return us an observable that will have this JSON information without all this metadata. Let's try it out. We have already written .getJSON. We'll just save it. Now, if you can see in the browser, we only have the required information without any metadata information that we saw earlier. So this is how you can request for a get information using Ajax module. That is how you can get information using Ajax. You can use getJSON so that you will receive the JSON directly instead of getting all the metadata information. In case you require those, then you can remove .getJSON from the Ajax method. Now, there are other HTTP methods as well that you can use, such as post, put, and delete. You can try those out. This was just a very basic example to show you how you can use the Ajax creation operator. And I hope you were able to understand it as well. Meet you in the next video. Until then, happy coding.